Welcome. I'm Amy Gross, by the way, from Pause to Be Present. I'm really excited to be here today and to be part of this collaboration. This class, week 2, is on mindfulness for stress reduction, which I know we can all use, especially now. And I want to just tell you before I get started into how I got into mindfulness and meditation, I just want to tell you a little bit about Pause to Be Present, which is the amazing meditation studio that I feel so grateful to be a part of. They are now fully virtual, and they offer classes every day at different times throughout the day from 8 in the morning on through the day. They offer guided meditations and different classes and workshops, and everything's virtual, which is amazing. So if you like this session, if you've been enjoying the series, you can learn more about Pause to Be Present and their classes at our website, and that's at pausetobepresent.com. And I think that Shelley put all that information up there. So now we've got kind of that out of the way. All the good stuff you can find online. I am going to tell you a little bit about me. So as I said, I'm Amy Gross, because I still see a couple folks are coming on in here. I'm a clinical psychologist, and I'm also a meditation teacher, a certified meditation instructor. I got, I guess, interested in meditation many years ago when I was in college, and I kind of dabbled in it, tried to learn about it, tried to practice it, and just it never stuck. And then I became a parent. And for those of you that have kids, I see a couple of laughs and nods. Yeah, I really needed mindfulness. And I realized that was the perfect time for me to make it stick, because I really needed to make it stick. I turned to mindfulness meditation because I thought it would help me with my patience. I had started kind of like integrating pieces of it into my professional work, and I started to feel like, you know what, if I'm doing this with my patients, I need to own it. I need to be able to speak from a place where it's coming from me, it's coming from my heart. And I was also a parent at the time and was so ready. I was primed. And that's when I jumped in. And I have to tell you, it was a bumpy start. I had a lot of trouble sitting. I had a lot of difficulty, I think, sitting in the silence with my thoughts and with myself. And that was hard. And I laugh when I think back to this, because early on, I told a friend of mine that I was going to kick meditation's butt. I mean, that's just not meditative, right? Like, that's the opposite, right? You're supposed to kind of accept that the sitting is hard and work with that and just be with yourself where you are, right? So I took, more time showing up and practicing and learning, and I was able to let go of that intensity. And it got easier and easier. And what I found, looking back on it now, these years later, what I see, and I can see this as it was happening now, that there was this gradual opening of space and a decrease in my reactivity and my reaction to things that were happening internally as well as externally. And that's where I found more patience with my kids, and even my husband too. He'll tell you that too. So that's sort of my story and how I wound up here. And now I use meditation to teach, obviously, these classes, which I love. I use it with my patients. I use it with my kids. I use it all over the place. I love it. So anyway, if you were here last week, I just want to recap a little bit if you weren't. Cindy Olson was your teacher. She's amazing. She's beautiful inside and out. And she did a really nice introduction to mindfulness meditation and what it is. And when we think, about it, what mindfulness looks like, it's really about paying attention in each moment without any judgment. So what does that really look like? It means being aware of your body, your thoughts, your emotions, whatever's going on in that moment. And you notice all of those things with an openness and compassion for yourself, a compassionate willingness almost to better understand yourself and better understand the people around you, and just to be able to sit with whatever is. And that leads us to today's topic, which is focusing on mindfulness and for stress reduction. And as I mentioned in the beginning, we all know what stress is. As human beings, we were not designed to withstand sustained stress. We were designed to handle short bursts of stress. You may have heard of the fight or flight response, and that, we see that in animals still today very clearly. That gazelle drinking water out on the plain, and the lion creeps up, in the bushes. She hears the rustling and the hair stands up right on her skin. And she, in that moment, has to fight or flee. And in that moment, all of these things are happening inside of her body, preparing her for one or the other. And so we as humans still have those very primitive stress responses, except we're now living with more of a sustained level of stress. It's not bursts like it used to be. And so these days we are faced with a lot of uncertainty. We live in a fast-paced world. And then we have our stress and worry. And that stress and worry, we can often trace it back to our perceived lack of control, of what's happening around us. And you know what? There's some truth in that, right? We cannot control what's happening around us, but we can choose to be in the moment. And when we choose to be mindful, that's one of the ways that we can manage our stress response. And we're gonna actually practice that today. Because we can't change life's circumstances, but we can choose how we react to them and respond to them. So when we feel calm and focused, we can actually find sometimes even a little bit of joy in those moments of stress when we can get to that place. Okay, just checking there are no questions. So we can think of mindfulness as a form of brain training, right? Like you exercise your muscles, you go to the gym, right? How do your muscles get fit? Practice. And if you practice your mindfulness muscle, you will get better at it. And when I shared the story about how I got started, that was what it was about for me. It was just showing up and practicing. And so the more that we show up and practice, the more we can learn how to take the focus out of those busy minds and calm our stress response. So often people focus on their breath, when they want to calm down. And people often say that to you, right? Like, take a deep breath, breathe, right? Sometimes when you're actually stimulated and anxious, focusing on your breath can be uncomfortable and can be really challenging. And so sometimes it's helpful to use other strategies to eventually get to your breath or never get to your breath. Because really it's about learning how to train your brain to focus on the present. And that can be focusing on your breath or something else. And for today's practice, I thought that we would start with a different form of focus to teach you that it doesn't just have to be about the breath. Another way that you can find that center and focus and calm is by focusing your awareness on your different senses. And so we're going to start with that. And then I'm going to guide you through that process and into a guided breathing meditation, because breathing is also very helpful as a stress reducer if you do it in certain ways, especially. So get comfortable wherever you are. You might want to move your body around a little bit. I recommend you can lie down for this, but I do recommend if you can sit up to sit with your feet resting on the ground. And if not, that's okay, however you're comfortable. And we're going to keep our eyes open to start, because the first sense that I want you to tap into is what you see, okay? And for this, take a moment to look around wherever you are. And you could be in a very familiar place. See if you can notice something you haven't noticed before, even in this familiar place. Just take a moment, see what you notice. Maybe it's a texture on a pillow or the couch. Maybe it's something out the window you never noticed. It's amazing what you can actually see when you stop and focus on what you're looking at. Okay, and now I'm going to invite you to gently and slowly close your eyes if you feel comfortable with that. And before we move on to the other senses, let's just take a nice big deep breath in through our nose and sigh it out. I find that that big breath in and sighing it out helps get rid of some stress and just helps me arrive in the moment. Okay, so we looked around, we saw a lot. Now, focus on what you can feel, the different sensations. How does the ground feel beneath your feet or your legs? What do your clothes feel like on your skin? Do you notice the air? Is there a slight breeze? Does it feel cooler on your exposed skin versus your covered skin? Just notice with some curiosity what you feel. And then turn to your ears. Open up your ears and see what you hear. See what you can hear that's far, far away. What sounds are far away? And now focus on what you hear that's close by. Could be in the room you're in, could be right outside. If you're doing this class outdoors, you'll hear much more. Just focus on that sense of sound. And now move on to smell. It's amazing how as you start to focus on your sense of smell, you notice smells that you didn't notice before. What do you smell? And finally, your sense of taste. What I like to do for this is if you don't taste something maybe from what you recently ate, you can actually taste your breath a little bit. If you open up your mouth and breathe in and out through your mouth and focus on the sense of taste in your mouth. It's amazing how the air has a taste. And now that we've worked through our 5 senses, I want to bring your attention back once again to your body, to that sense of connection that you may have felt earlier with the grounds beneath you, with your seat or the floor, whatever is supporting you right now. Notice that support. Feel it. Surrender to it. While keeping a dignified posture so you're not slumping, see if you can relax your body. You can scan your body and notice any areas that need any attention, that need any help softening. And you can breathe into those areas. Perhaps your legs or your hips. You might even want to try to open your hips a little bit more to relax them. And you can breathe into your abdomen and your chest, your back, wherever you feel some tension in your body. Just give those areas permission to soften and relax. Focus on your shoulders. You might even be able to drop your shoulders a tiny bit down from your ears. Relax your neck. And don't forget your face. We often hold a lot of tension in our facial muscles. So relax your jaw and your cheeks, the area around your eyes and your forehead. And take another deep breath in through your nose and sigh it out through your mouth. And just arrive in this moment and focus on your breath, on your breathing. The natural, beautiful rhythm of your breath that's always with you. And the beautiful thing about it is you don't even have to change it. You just can notice it. Where do you feel it in your body? Do you feel it as you sip in that first bit of air at your nostrils? Do you feel it as the air travels down your throat, into your chest and your belly, and back up again and out your nostrils again? Where do you feel it the most? Where do you sense it the most? I mentioned earlier that our breath can help us calm down. Now, our parasympathetic nervous system, our calming response, is very connected to our out breath. So as you lengthen your out breath, you're able to relax deeper. So I'm going to invite you now to change up your breathing a little bit. See if you can deepen your inhale. And as you deepen it, notice the air that you're taking in, filling up all the cells of your body. And as you exhale, see if you can lengthen that exhale. As you lengthen that exhale, you notice a deepening into the stillness, into this moment. As you inhale, you notice the air filling up your body. You notice your chest rising. And as you exhale, you notice a deeper relaxation, a letting go an awareness of just this moment. And if this form of breathing feels good for you, continue. And if you'd prefer, just return your breathing to its natural rhythm. Let control go of your breath and just follow it wherever it takes you. And if you notice any distractions, any resistance to the stillness, thoughts or sounds that might pull you away, that is the practice. Noticing those distractions, acknowledging them, accepting them for what they are, and returning your attention gently and lovingly back to your breath or whatever it is you're focusing on. And continue to breathe and follow your inhale and your exhale. And at the same time, expand your awareness back out to your body again. So now your breath and your body are in your awareness. You feel that connection, that groundedness, that support. You feel perhaps your hands on your lap or laying gently next to you. You might notice the air temperature again. And you notice that beautiful breath. Your breath that is always with you. Anchoring you in this moment, in just this breath, in just this moment. And I'm going to ring the bell to signal the end of this meditation. And take your time, gently, slowly opening your eyes and coming back. Welcome back. I hope that you were able to find some peace and some calm this afternoon. So just to remind you, when it comes to stress and mindfulness, the two things that we really focused on today are real, like concrete ways that things you always have with you to help manage your stress response. And those are all your senses. So any moment in time, you can just say, just this, right? Just this breath, just this touch, just this sound, whatever it is, you can focus on, you can simplify your awareness and your focus on one thing and savor it. You always have that with you. And the most beautiful thing is you always have your breath, and you can slow down your breath, which will also help with that stress response, calming you down. So those are strategies that you always have with you. And I just want to thank you all for joining me today, the Pause to Be Present team over this 5-week series, and Girls Night in Online for collaborating and hosting this. It's been an amazing process so far.